Hey my friends, how are you? Let's get more news from Steelers, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Why can't Kalijah Kancey be the Steelers' first-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft? I kick off my 2023 NFL Draft coverage by asking this one simple question. Why can't Kalijah Kancey be the Steelers' first pick, 17th, overall, on the night of April 27, 2023? I'm not going to lie, the one thing that caught my attention when I sort of paid attention to the NFL Combine was the 40 time turned in by Kancey, who ran a 4.67, which was the fastest time for a 280-plus man recorded at the annual event since 2006, before Northwestern's Adetomiwa Adebawore smashed that number an hour later by posting a 4.49. Kancey is a 281-pound defensive tackle, formerly of the University of Pittsburgh. Being a huge Panthers fan, I was immediately enamored with Kancey, and he became my first 2023 NFL Draft crush. I couldn't help but notice that he soon began to soar up draft boards as fast as he ran 40 yards at the Combine. On an episode of BTSC's Hangover podcast shortly after the Combine, I asked my co-host's opinions on Kancey. I believe I included an unnecessary L as I pronounced his last name, but Clancy, as in Sam Clancy, hello, and was told that he didn't fit the Steelers' mold for a defensive lineman. I immediately accepted this as gospel. After all, 3 technique, 5 technique, who knows what any of it means? But one of the first things I did, as I began my extensive draft coverage, was research the whole technique deal as it pertains to defensive linemen in the NFL. Turns out, the terminology isn't as complicated as you think. If I understand things correctly, a 5-technique player, for example, lines up on the outside of the tackle. He's primarily used in a 3-4 defense and is responsible for the B and C gaps on running plays. That sounds an awful lot like what the Steelers ask of their defensive ends, I thought. Therefore, I didn't think there was any way Kancey, the 2022 ACC Defensive Player of the Year, was a 5-technique defensive lineman. Then, I googled the top defensive line prospects in the 2023 NFL Draft and found the 5-technique rankings by drafttech.com. I couldn't believe it when I discovered that Kancey, a unanimous 2022 All-American, was listed as the second-best 5-technique prospect behind Iowa's Lucas Van Ness. If Kancey is a 5-technique defensive lineman, and the Steelers have been mostly a 3-4 defense for decades, why isn't the former a good fit? Is it the fact that Kancey is, as his NFL.com draft profile describes him, an undersized, one-gapping defensive tackle? And you fan, what do you think of the Kalijah Kancey situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.